This episode is brought to you by Commerce, parent company of BigCommerce, Feedonomics, and MakeSwift.
That was a lot of the feedback during the Raleigh opening was all the customers were saying, we're so proud and lucky that you picked our town and that this is where you decided to have the first opening. Because you're right, people expect you're going to open up in New York or in LA or Chicago in one of the major markets. And it's been really nice to meet more of the local customer in a differentiated market and really grow with our customers there.
Welcome to Retail Remix. In recent years, private label brands have undergone a major makeover, becoming sought-after brands in their own right. As a testament to this, Anthropologie recently took its 20-year-old private fashion label Maeve and turned it into a standalone brand, complete with its own stores. Today, Anu Narayanan, Anthropologie's president of Women's and Home, will take us inside that decision and share how her team plans to write a new chapter for the Maeve brand. Actually, to be more accurate, its own book. Welcome back to Retail Remix. I'm your host, Nicole Silberstein, editor-in-chief at Retail Touchpoints, and today we are joined by Anu Narayanan, president of Women's and Home at Anthropologie Group. Anu, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm so excited to be with you today.
So we are here today to talk about Maeve, an Anthropologie private label that earlier this year you launched as a standalone brand. And I want to just start by hearing about the Maeve brand and what kind of drove that decision to launch it as a standalone. It's been around for close to 20 years now, right?
It has. You know, Maeve has been one of our most beloved private label brands within Anthropologie, and the customer just follows it religiously, loves the brand so much. It has a really distinct aesthetic. It is anchored in timeless silhouettes that have modern details and really have everything from like everyday essential product all the way to special occasion products within that. And we were following the customer, and everything we do is really listening to them. And they kept asking for more Maeve. They were interacting with the product really well. And just their love of it led us to realize with how much interaction the customer had with it, that it was probably time for us to be able to launch this as something more meaningful. We have been shopped by over 2 million customers in the last year for Maeve, and it's our number one most searched brand on our website. In addition to that, we've had over 3 million searches on our site for Maeve, and it has driven over 10 million TikTok views. So all of that enthusiasm for the label is really what led to our launch.
It's so interesting because you don't normally see, or it's not often that you see a private label getting called out that much. Do you think when customers are searching it or talking about it on TikTok, do you think they realized it was an Anthropologie private label brand, or did they just think it was like a brand Anthropologie carried?
I think there were customers who had thoughts about both. So we would often hear that someone came in the store and said, "You're the only place that I can find this Maeve brand, and I'm obsessed with it. So I needed to come here to find it." Where other people who really understand Anthropologie and are, extremely dedicated and loyal customers knew that it was only available at our store and that it was one of Anthropologie's labels. So there's a wide variety of customers who shop our brands, and I think some knew and some didn't.
So now as Maeve starts to kind of break out on its own, how will you distinguish the two brands? I mean, you did say that Maeve has a very distinct aesthetic, but so in terms of product, but also store experience, how are you going to distinguish Maeve from Anthropologie?
Yes, definitely the aesthetic is extremely different for Maeve than what you would see at another label within Anthropologie. And the store environment is also very different for the standalone store. So we will carry Maeve in our existing fleet of Anthropologie stores with a slightly different presentation and edit than you would find in our standalone store. The standalone store has more of a boutique feel. It's a smaller square footage space. It has lifestyle elements that are a bit different within the environment. And I think the customer is going to see, and we've already seen since we've launched, a very different interaction that they're having within this space. It's wardrobed in more of a boutique feel. It still has a sense of discovery, but very different than what it would look like within an Anthropologie store.
Who is, would you say, the core Maeve customer? Like, how is that different from Anthropologie's core customer, or is it?
It's not really. We have a multi-generational customer who shops Maeve. And I think that that customer has been extremely loyal and loves the product offering that we have. She's shops a variety of price points. She has various style needs and is extremely enthusiastic about the brand and shopping with us. So really, the customer who shops Maeve also shops Anthropologie for different reasons, and it's really an aesthetic that varies pretty much between the two.
Retailers are entering a new era, one powered by AI and filled with opportunity. But they shouldn't have to go it alone. Meet Commerce, the new parent brand uniting BigCommerce, Feedonomics, and MakeSwift into one AI-driven ecosystem connecting all the tools your business needs to adapt faster, scale smarter, and grow with confidence. Commerce's powerful selling solutions help brands turn data into discovery, create storefronts without bottlenecks, and build frictionless shopping experiences that your customers will love. Want to learn more? See how Commerce is powering what's next at commerce.com/retailremix.
So you've already opened the first Maeve store in Raleigh, North Carolina, and there's another one on the way this year, right?
There is. We're so excited. So yes, our first store opened in Raleigh in October, and we had an incredible response to the opening there. And we have another one coming. We have our second location that is going to be opening in Atlanta, and we're thrilled about the potential that we'll see there as well.
Why did you land on these locations, North Carolina, Atlanta, for these Maeve stores? They're not, a lot of people when they're launching a store, they'll go to a more of an urban center to launch their first store in New York City or San Francisco, something like that.
I know, it's interesting. We've had a lot of conversation about that because we are opening in locations that maybe seem non-traditional to some folks. We really looked at where the customer was shopping Maeve and had the most affinity for the label. So where were we seeing strong DTC performance? Where were we already seeing strong sales within our retail channel for Anthropologie for the label? That coupled with finding the right real estate. So we were very focused on opening in Main Street locations, something that had more of a boutique lifestyle feel versus a traditional mall location. And those really coupled both. They met both requirements for what we were looking for. And it's also been kind of fun to engage in a customer base that wasn't expecting us to open there. That was a lot of the feedback during the Raleigh opening was all the customers were saying, we're so proud and lucky that you picked our town and that this is where you decided to have the first opening. Because you're right, people expect you're going to open up in a New York or in LA or Chicago in one of the major markets. And it's been really nice to meet more of the local customer in a differentiated market and really grow with our customers there.
So as you open these stores, how are you introducing the Maeve brand to customers? I mean, clearly you have a fan base that's following what you're doing with the Maeve brand, but for other people walking by on the street, how are they going to experience or be introduced to the Maeve brand through the store? And how much is the connection to Anthropologie like a part of that story, or is it not at all?
So the way that we are meeting the customer where they are is really we launched a 360-degree campaign when we launched Maeve. It started with going after dedicated Maeve social platforms. So we have our own Maeve TikTok handle. We also have an Instagram channel, and we launched our very first Substack. And we also went after an immersive launch in August with the House of Maeve, with a very robust influencer strategy and media strategy. So that really enabled us to build what we're calling internally kind of our mavens, these women who love the brand, love the label, and are partnering with us on our influencer outreach. All of that together is really what drove our media strategy in terms of gaining new customers, as well as letting those who already love the label to know that there was more to come with exclusive assortment that is available in those stores, and, just a more Maeve. The customer just wanted more of what we had to offer.
I love that you've already coined the name of the community, the Mavens. It's so perfect. I love it.
It's very fun.
When people come into the store, will Anthropologie be present in any way? Or is this really like Maeve is breaking out on her own and no ties to her past?
No, she's still always going to be part of the Anthropologie family for sure. In the actual standalone store, everything is Maeve exclusive, label. And we partner with also some other labels. So similar to in an Anthropologie store, we have an eclectic mix of assortment. We have our own brand labels, and then we curate a collection of market products that sits along our own brand labels. We do the exact same thing in the Maeve location. We have new exclusive brands that we're offering, like Jennifer Fisher, Goop Beauty, that aren't available in an Anthropologie store location, but we were able to pick up and partner and have within the Maeve location, really thinking about what does that Maeve customer want in her wardrobe outside of just Maeve product? And how do we think about curating those collaborations and those other brands alongside it? Some other apparel labels that we brought in was, for example, Rowing Blazers, which has done extremely well for us alongside the Maeve label. So we really focused on that curation. And so within that store environment, it feels similar but different to what you would see in an Anthropologie store. Our marketing externally, obviously, will still be Maeve by Anthropologie, our exclusive brand, but she is breaking out on her own. So she has the potential to do a ton and to continue to grow just based on how much the customer affinity is there for the label.
I very incorrectly assumed that the Maeve store was going to be exclusively Maeve product, but it's going to be a multi-brand store, just like an Anthropologie, but with a different bent.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we know that not one person, I don't think, Nicole, you or I probably have only one label in our closet. And we usually have an eclectic mix of different things. And the beauty of what we do is curating a lifestyle for the customer. So we're going to offer that Maeve product, but when you love Maeve, then what are the other things that should sit alongside that really complement your lifestyle? So that's how we're really thinking about curating the collection.
Is the price point going to be any different than a typical Anthropologie store?
The price point for Maeve is about the same, but we do have some higher end products that we offer there. So there is a nice range that goes from opening price point all the way to a stretch or icing price point. But there's something for everyone.
So just thinking about this move then, what would you say are the larger implications of making Maeve into a standalone brand for both Anthropologie's business, but also the broader urban family of brands?
I think it's exciting because it showcases growth. We are on a growth trajectory, which gives the I always think people first. It gives the customer an opportunity to interact with something they love even more so. It gives all of the people who work at Anthropologie and the URBN brands the chance for more opportunity for personal growth. So we've been able to add some resources to the team to be able to grow this brand. And when you think about opening new stores, then we're hiring more people. So I see this as growth all around, not only for us from a sales perspective, but for customers who love the label and want to just see more. And then also for our internal teams and their personal growth, which is just really great. It's nice to see the teams just so proud of what they've been able to accomplish and know that there's so much more that lies ahead.
And maybe a potential playbook to do something similar with other private label brands within that. I mean, I'm sorry, I said it completely wrong. I didn't realize you say URBN, not urban.
URBN. Either way, they're synonymous.
But within that larger kind of family of brands, I imagine there's some interest in seeing how this all plays out because there's other similar probably opportunities.
Yes, definitely. We're always thinking about what's next. So it's exciting to see how this will play out and where the future will take us.
Now, with Maeve, you've also tapped into another kind of emerging trend, the resurgence of the catalog. You've launched a Maeve catalog for the holidays, I believe, right?
Yes, we had a catalog in August that kicked off the Maeve launch. And for Anthropologie, catalog is not new to us. This is not something that we have gone away from. We have been a brand that consistently delivers multiple catalogs a year to our customer. And they have loved them. They like being able to see what the new collection is. And so this fit right into our media strategy as we do. The difference is versus, showcasing a curation of multiple brands within an Anthropologie catalog, this was solely dedicated to Maeve in August and really amplified the kickoff of the new branding as well as our standalone store. So we've been really excited about it. And I think that customers like being able to interface in a digital way as well as analog. And so being able to have both of those things in tandem to service the customer however she chooses to interact with the Maeve brand has been really fun to see.
Yeah. I know you say you've always kind of maintained the catalog, but it is something that does seem to be gaining new traction again, this kind of old school format. And I think it might be a lot of what we are seeing is a little bit of that pushback against everything going digital and people still enjoying these tactile experiences, also like shopping in person as well.
I totally agree. I think that there's something to a handwritten note versus a text, shopping in person, maybe a Polaroid or like a real picture you can carry around versus something just on your phone. And to your point, I think the catalog gives you that same feel as those other things.
It also pushes in a way that digital doesn't always. So like, in order to really showcase the Maeve brand, that shows up in my mailbox. I'm definitely going to flip through it, but I might not necessarily be going to the Maeve website and scrolling and looking at everything in the same way. So it's a nice kind of soft push, I would say, into customers' lives.
Yeah.
So before we let you go, we have our final last section of little rapid fire questions. Are you ready to do some of these fun questions before we wrap up?
Of course.
Okay. The first one is a private label brand from another retailer that you love.
Oh, that one's easy. For me, it's Kirkland. I think Costco does such an incredible job with the Kirkland label. When I lived in California, I would often buy Kirkland wine. Now they don't have liquor in my local Costco store, but I'm obsessed with the Kirkland products, whether it's olive oil or anything else. I think they have high quality goods that are surprisingly affordable and quality-wise just amazing.
Yeah, that one is amazing too, because I just think at least 50% of people would probably have the exact same answer. There is something really powerful about that brand, and it's really broken out away from Costco as its own kind of thing.
It has. Yeah, it's exciting to see that for them.
What is a catalog that you used to love or still love getting in your mailbox?
So this is kind of funny. I feel like it might have kicked off my retail career before I even realized it. When I was a little girl, my grandmother used to get the JCPenney catalog back in the day. And it was enormous. I think it was like the largest catalog I've ever seen. And I would flip through it and sit down with all my aunts and ask them their favorite thing on every page. And I was obsessed with it. I used to carry it around. It was probably bigger than I was at the time, but I didn't realize how much I loved retail and fashion as a little kid. But looking back now, that was like a huge part of my childhood. Obviously, that is gone by the wayside, and that very much dates me and makes me old. But now I would say I always still look forward to the Neiman Marcus Christmas catalog or holiday catalog. I always think it's interesting to see what the like crazy gifts are that are out of my reach for sure, but fun to dream about.
They have good ones too.
They do.
Like the luxury trips and stuff.
Exactly.
It is fun. The other one I always loved was I don't even know if I'm going to say it right, Hammacher Schlemmer catalog, which is just like it's just always a collection of just really crazy random things, kind of like going into a sharper image back in the day. But that one I think is not going to be coming anymore. I think they went bankrupt. So
no, sadly.
I know. Luckily, we still have Maeve and Anthropologie and plenty of other brands showing up in our mailbox. So I also heard that you are a big Bravo fan, and I want to know what is your can't miss show?
Oh, it's definitely Summer House. I can't miss it. It's definitely the thing that I keep up with the most. I do also like The Real Housewives, and I'm a Jersey girl at heart. So The Real Housewives of New Jersey are another one that's up on my list.
Are you going to go to BravoCon? You know, they have like a fan event now.
They do. You know, I think it just happened this past weekend, and it was taking over my social feed, probably because because of how much Bravo I watch. And I thought to myself, why am I not there? I might need to go next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
So now you've worked in merchandising for over 20 years, and I'm curious, what is your biggest merchandising pet peeve? Like when you walk into a store, you see it and you're like, no.
For me, it is color adjacencies on how something is merchandised and laid out. So it is, making a table of sweaters look beautiful based on what color is sitting next to what color, and really thinking about, how you have to buy yellow that might not sell in order to sell the gray. And so really thinking through how those colors work together and what looks aesthetically appealing next to each other. And it goes past the store for me. It is even a pet peeve for me when the team hangs product for a presentation. I'm like, think about how you're selling your line and make sure it's hung in a way that feels aesthetically appealing. And I often just say to everyone, think about the Roy G. Biv of the rainbow and even put it in a rainbow order, and it usually will get you closer there.
I love merchandising. Merchandising is such an invisible art. Like we all experience it and don't even realize it. It's really a cool thing.
Totally.
All right. This one's mostly for me, but I'm just curious, working at a major women's fashion retailer, what is the fashion trend we're going to be seeing everywhere this winter? What do I need to go out and get to be on trend?
Oh, it's going to be fur. Faux, of course, but fur. Whether you want a fur hat, fur earmuffs, a fur coat, fur on your boots, if you are looking for a fur throw for your home or pillows, it is everything for this fall.
Fantastic.
Holiday.
All right. Yeah. I'm on it. Thank you, Anu, for being here with us today and taking us inside the Maeve launch. Very interesting.
Oh, thanks so much, Nicole, for having me. I really appreciate it. It was great chatting with you.
I hope eventually you'll get a store out here in the New Jersey, New York area. Hope
I
that's
know,
on the
me
roadmap
too.
somewhere.
We'll work on that.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. If you've had a chance to check out the Maeve store, or if you have other stories about private label brands that you love, hop over to the Retail Touchpoints page on LinkedIn and tell us about it. And while you're there, let us know who you'd like to hear from in future episodes. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Retail Remix. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or your favorite podcast app. Until next time, keep mixing it up.